I call him big time.
You call him big time?
Big time.
Big time.
I'm big time.
It's big time.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time!
Big time. Big time. Big time. Big time. Big time.
What's up guys, it's your boy Big Time, and we made it. That's it. 2017 is almost over. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so I thought I'd sneak in one last video for the year, and I thought it would be a cool way to look back at 2017 as a year through all the things that I enjoyed. So this is my top 5 movies, video games and TV series. Let's get into it. 2017 was a massive year for entertainment. It was just a great time to be into pop culture and nerd culture and video games and just movies in general, because holy crap was it hard to put this list together, because there was so much stuff that I wanted to include on this list, but obviously I could only have 5 of each. So without further ado, top movies for 2017. And this is the one that I struggled with the most, because I saw a lot of movies this year and I saw a lot of fantastic movies this year. Again, if you're into nerd, pop culture, comic book superheroes, anything like that, this year delivered in spades. So I got a couple of honorable mentions that I just had to say something about but couldn't quite give a spot on the list. And the first one is Logan. Man, R-rated superhero movie, probably the best iteration of a Wolverine movie we've ever seen. One of the best superhero movies we're ever going to see. I can't say enough good things about this movie. It just perfectly captured what Wolverine is, and it just epitomized the old man Logan story, which is fantastic. And it was a beautiful send-off for Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart as Professor X. It was just an unbelievable movie. I actually saw it twice at the movie, so that's how you know it was really good. And I think I'll have to pick it up on Blu-ray as well, so I can watch the black and white version. My second honorable mention for movies goes to Get Out, which was Jordan Peele's directorial debut from the comedy duo Key and Peele. It's a horror movie with a bit of a twist. I actually don't want to say a lot about it, because the less you know about Get Out, the more you'll enjoy it when you go see it. So all I'll say is definitely see this movie. It's phenomenal. Final honorable mention goes to War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie had no business being this good. Matt Reeves is a freaking genius when it comes to directing a movie, because this made you feel all sorts of things for the apes and made you hate the humans. It was just perfect. I can't say enough about it. Bethy and I really enjoyed it. Really funny, really well shot, fantastic story, and the motion capture is just next level. Andy Serkis is the king of that, so please go see it if you haven't seen it already. Taking out the 5th spot was one I just saw last week. It is Disney Pixar's Coco. I'm a huge fan of Pixar movies, and this now takes up my #1 spot, just knocking off the Incredibles. It is just such a fantastic movie. The characters are awesome. The story is really good, and I actually didn't see the twist coming until just before it happened, which is always a nice touch. The music's fantastic. Like any good animation, it should have good music, and this one has it in spades. And the setting for this being sort of Mexico and the whole Day of the Dead thing was just brilliant. We really enjoyed it, and the story is super touching. We saw it at the drive-ins, which I don't usually like doing, but it was the perfect way to see it because it was a hot summer night, so we got to enjoy that. And at the pivotal moment of this movie, it was just silent. You couldn't hear a thing, and all of a sudden you just heard people sniffing and crying, because it really got you right in the feels. Bethy was crying, our friend Amy was crying, the people next to us, they were all crying. I almost shed a single man's tear. I didn't, but I came close to it. That's how good Coco was. Please, please go see this movie. Even if you don't have kids, as an adult, you will enjoy it. My 4th spot goes to It, which was the remake of Stephen King's It. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not huge on horror, but leading up to this, the trailers looked phenomenal. It had one of the kids from Stranger Things. I actually don't know his name. That's him. He was brilliant, and all the child actors in this really made this movie. I never saw the original It, but having seen Stranger Things and then watching this remake, I can see that Stranger Things drew a lot of inspiration from the original It, and then this remake actually drew a lot of inspiration from Stranger Things. It's a kind of like a full circle thing. Mr. Skarsgård, who played Pennywise, was brilliant. He was super creepy and I didn't find the movie really scary. I just thought he was brilliant at bringing that character to life. It was super well shot, had a lot of great cinematography, and the music and the sound design was just on point. This was definitely one of my favourite movies, and even if you don't like horror, I highly recommend you go see this. If you like Stranger Things, it's probably about as spooky as that, so if you can handle that, you can definitely handle It. We dragged Bethy along to see it, and she hates that sort of thing, and she enjoyed this, so we're super excited for when part 2 comes out. Taking my number 3 spot goes to, this was a tough one for me to rank because I was sort of a little bit undecided as to what to do with it. But I'm giving it to Star Wars The Last Jedi, episode 8. This is probably my most anticipated movie this year, and leading up to it, I was just very, very excited. The reviews were super positive. Everyone was just really excited about this movie, and it was an event. It's a cultural phenomenon when a numbered Star Wars movie comes out. So for those reasons, I gave it a 3. I think, had the movie done a couple of little things different, I could have given it my number 1 spot. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, and I'm super excited to see it again. I might go catch it in IMAX if I get a chance. My number 2 spot, I have to give to Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi is just a fantastic actor. He's super funny, and he always does little cameos in his movies, which I love. It's kind of like the New Zealand Tarantino in that sense. His cameo in this actually steals the show. If you have seen it, you know exactly who he is. Yeah, he just managed to capture what a Thor movie should be. It shouldn't take itself too serious like Thor 2 The Dark World did. It's just silly, and it throws the Hulk in there, and Jeff Goldblum is always fantastic. And it was just crazy, and they just had fun with it. And that came off in spades because the audience loved it. It was super funny. And it was just great to get a buddy cop film between the Hulk and Thor. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok gets my number 2 spot. My number 1 spot for my favourite movie of 2017 goes to SpiderMan Homecoming. Holy shit, did I love this movie. Now, I was talking about Logan being one of the best superhero movies. Spider-Man is now my favourite Spider-Man movie and also my favourite superhero movie. It felt exactly like the Spider-Man 90s cartoons, which were my favourite, and I felt like Tom Holland just really captured that Spidey and that Peter Parker, and everything about this movie was just brilliant. The character, Spider-Man himself, the suit, the cast of characters around him, his best mate Ned, Tony Stark's cameo in it was really good. Keaton playing the Vulture was perfect. I think he's destined to play winged creatures for the rest of his life, which I don't have a problem with because he was brilliant in this. And I couldn't fault this movie, which is why it gets my number 1 spot. Again, I saw this one twice at the cinemas, once with the boys, YTB, and then at the drive-ins with Bethany, and it was better the second time. There's so many little Easter eggs if you're a Spider-Man comic book fan in there that just made this movie sublime. I cannot praise it enough, which is why it gets my number 1 spot. And I actually want to go watch it again now, but I'm saving it so I can watch all the MCU movies in a row leading up to Avengers next year, which is probably going to be my top movie of next year. Spoilers. But that's it, guys. 2017 was a fantastic year for video games, TV, and movies, and just overall a great year for me. So I thought, what better way to finish off than with a top 5. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw and played all of the things I listed here. If you haven't, I recommend all of them. And it gets my patented BIGTYM 2 thumbs up, which is not really patented. I don't know why I did it. And anyway, it's out there now, so I hope you enjoy it. But that's it for me. I'm going to edit this quickly, post it up so I can enjoy New Year's Eve with my friends and family tomorrow. And to everyone else, I hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve and a fantastic end of 2017. Bring on 2018 because it's going to be even better than this year. And that's it for me. It's your boy, BIGTYM, out. Peace.
Big time, big time.